Greetings. Let's delve into a very interesting and the most confusing topic in Rust, as for me, if it's modular system. If you've come from different programming languages except probably C and in particular C++, which I'm not familiar with, but I've heard from my friends, for example, who are C++ developers, that module systems there is also hell. It's really hard to understand it, to comprehend it, optimize, and so on. But if you're working or used to work with, for example, like Go, type or JavaScript, Python, I don't know, Java, C#, whatever, it's more or less the same everywhere. You don't need to adapt. So you basically know that it's quite intuitive. It feels very familiar everywhere. I mean, for example, if you need to, like, you can do it a natural way. I mean that you can create different folders, put files there, and if you have a folder A and a folder B, and you need to import something from the folder A, you simply just, yes, import it, write the path, and that's it. That's how it works in Go, Python, whatever. Actually, yes, more or less the same. The only problem you may encounter with it, it's like when you have cross imports, but it's a separate topic. We're not gonna cover it. What I just want to say is that in all programming languages, it feels more or less the same, but also a very interesting moment, as far as I know, from Java, for example, or Kotlin developers who I know, that because I don't have enough my own experience with Java or C#, that in Java, they, for example, you may have a folder A and also a different folder tests, and they may be put like located in the same namespace. So what it means that in tests you don't need to import module A, you just use it the same way as it would be in the same folder. I mean, for example, you don't need to do something like you have your file, like, I don't know, launch in the folder A, and you don't need to create a test in the same folder, like launch like underscore test, for example. No, you don't have to do this. That's what I really like. It allows you to organize your project the way you want with your tests. In particular, you don't need to put them in the same folder, or you don't need to import them if you have a separate folder for your tests. That's actually how I prefer to organize my projects, that they kinda mirror our project structure, but they have a separate test folder. But again, it's a different topic. So just, yes, for you to know that Java probably has more opportunities about organizing your project. You can use some namespaces and so on. That's what you can't do in Go. In Python, in other languages with which I've worked with, to be honest, I don't really remember. But yeah. So let's start with Rust finally. With Rust, that's actually much more challenging than with any programming languages I've worked before. But again, I've almost never seen C, C++, assembler, by the way. So yes, I've heard, I admit that in C++ it may be the same shit or even worse, like who knows. But okay, let's just start with it. So first of all, you need to understand that in Rust, each separate folder needs to have its own module file. For example, you have your root of your project. If you just put your files there, not a big deal at all. But if you need like to create a folder A, and inside of it a folder B, and so on, inside of which folder you need to have your separate module file, which you need to explicitly list all of your directories which you have access to. So for example, you have a directory A, and you have inside of it directories A, B, and C. Oh, no, B, C, D, E, for example. And if you'd like to for all of those folders to be accessible from like the root from anywhere, you need to explicitly list it in your module file, like the path to the directory B, the path to the directory C, the path to the directory D, and so on. The same about files. If you have any files within the directory A, and if you'd like to, for example, also them to be accessible within your project generally, you also need to explicitly list each of them. Really confusing, isn't it? I don't know, I've heard a lot of scary stories about like borrow checker in Rust and so on, but for me and to me, in my experience, like it's always been the biggest pain in the neck. I mean that like all its module system in the very beginning, I just didn't understand why it didn't work. It was hard. I needed to read the docs. I need to rely on ChatGPT and so on just to explain. So after like some time, yes, I finally started step by step understanding it a little bit better. But this is only the very beginning. Then, for example, imagine a next situation. In Rust, what I like, you may make all of your dependencies optional. What I mean are, for example, this example. You have a logger, like whatever library or libraries you use doesn't matter, and you would like it to be optional. So, for example, in a nutshell, you can simply switch it off. And if you do this, your project won't compile it and you won't have any login during your runtime. That's pretty cool as for me, and I know that in C++, in C probably, they also allow you to do this. That's pretty cool that your project may be really modular, with a combination with power of generics, but again, like traits, but it's a different topic. So just what I want to say, that if you'd like some of your dependencies be optional, like your database, for example, your HTTP, like gRPC server, whatever, like, yeah, whatever dependency or group of dependencies you like it may be optional. Here things become even more complicated, because you need to explicitly in your cargo file, for example, make them optional. Also, I don't remember by heart, but you need to solve a lot of problems connected with it. Yes, and you have actually two ways to do this. You can make them, for example, you know that whatever happens, like, yes, you always want to have your database, your HTTP server, and like at least them, for example, yeah, two groups of your dependencies, like, yes, to be like to run. So you can, for example, make them by default. So, and if you run your project, you'll see they'll be compiled and run anyway. If you want to disable, for example, for some reason you decide, I don't want to use my database right now, I don't want to use my HTTP server right now, you need to explicitly use a command when you launch a project, something like, I don't remember again by heart, with no default, like, the sense is like, yes, that you explicitly say, I don't want to have, for example, yes, a few dependencies. I run my project only with my HTTP server, or only with my current database, for example, Postgres or MySQL, whatever you use, and that's it. So that's the first path. And the second path is that you can simply use, you use no default dependencies, but each time you launch your project, you need to explicitly include all of your dependencies which you want to use. For example, you explicitly tell it, like, man, I launch my project with my database, with my HTTP server, and with my login. Or please compile and run my project only with my database and only with my login, or only with my database and my HTTP server, so no login. I don't want to have login right now. I mean login system. And initially I started with the first path, but then I realized that it's quite bulky. If I really wanna disable some dependencies, it's really inconvenient. So I eventually came to the second path. I mean, I explicitly tell it each time, that I launch, for example, my project with all of my dependencies, or I launch it with everything but login. Sure, you can just use a make file in your project to make your life a little bit easier, but that's just what I wanted to convey to you, that even the cargo system itself, it's quite bulky as to me and confusing with all of its stuff generally. I mean module files, optional dependencies, and so on. But this is not even the top of the iceberg. The real pain in the ass really starts if you'd like to use different workspaces. In a nutshell, generally itself, it makes your project, your organization much more complicated itself. And if you also want to use optional dependencies, some shared dependencies, and so on, man, I remember me spending just a few days tinkering with it, and finally I came to some solutions, and finally more or less I realized how to do this, but it's just hard, just to believe me. So the more you go with it, the worse actually. I would be confined with just the basic modules, and if you'd like also with optional dependencies, but I wouldn't use actually workspaces unless your project really is compiling for so long that you need to really just use different workspaces, crates, to avoid it. But it also has a disadvantage. I mean, I've already mentioned about the complexity, which is much worse if you use workspaces, especially in conjunction with optional dependencies. But one more problem, that the Rust compiler may not optimize it the best possible way. I mean, if you have just one cargo, one default workspace, so all of your project is simply one big crate with different modules, the Rust compiler can guarantee that it optimizes it the best possible way ever, the best it can, because it sees everything. Yes, everything is within one crate and so on. When you use different workspaces, yes, there are different optimizations options, something like workspace link, something like this. Yes, like that. In theory, the Rust compiler will optimize it the same way, like if you had just one crate, you have one default workspace without any extra workspaces. But again, it may be worse. In some situations, the optimizations may not be the best possible way. I mean, probably yes, for a lot of projects it doesn't matter at all, and the Rust performance is more than enough for either with with one default workspace or with a lot of workspaces. It doesn't matter. But yes, for some projects where your performance is really crucial, I would consider to sacrifice your compilation speed just for making your project to work faster. Yes, so that's it. About my own conclusions, Rust module system is the most confusing, the most difficult and challenging part in Rust. Maybe if you come from C++, for example, for you it's more or less familiar and okay, but if you just have, for example, a Go, Python, whatever, like background, you'll need to spend at least a few days or even weeks, months, until you start understanding how it works. And even after this, you may run into different issues with it, especially if you use workspaces. So yes, I would recommend you starting with just modules themselves. Then as a next step, you can use optional dependencies. It will make your life harder, but not so much. And only with when you have a situation when your compiling time is so crazy that you have no other options but just yes to use different workspaces, start splitting your project into different number of workspaces. But again, the same with microservices. You may not need to have one workspace for each domain. You may need, for example, just to have like a few main workspaces. It may be enough to accelerate your compilation time. So yes, don't make things more complicated than it's needed. If you're new in Rust, so don't be scared if like you need a few days just to make your project run with modules with optional dependencies, and especially if you start using workspaces. It's really hard. It's much harder as for me than borrow, checker, and whatever you need. So yes, something like this. Thanks for watching. I hope it was interesting for you. Bye.